Okay, so the Ashland Food Co-op just got jackfruit in, so of course we have to make an emergency trip and go get some right now. All right, guys, it's time to get into this jackfruit. This is my favorite fruit in the world. First time I had this fruit was in Hawaii. Totally fell in love with it. It tastes like juicy fruit bubble gum. It's just like big and massive and spiky. It's the coolest thing I had ever seen. Next time I had it was when I was traveling in India because I could never find it in the United States because it was very hard to come by. It wasn't popular at the time. Nowadays, we find it everywhere. You can find it at Whole Foods. I've seen it at supermarkets. Of course, it's still at the ethnic markets, but a lot of them are coming into the United States. And I think one of the reasons why this had a hard time becoming popular, even though it's such an exceptional fruit and tastes amazing, is that, first of all, it's massive. Second of all, it's a little bit tricky to deal with because depending on when you cut into this, there's a very sticky latex that I have the feeling we're going to see with this jackfruit because I've already gotten some off the surface that stuck to my clothes. And that sticky latex is a little bit troublesome because it doesn't just wash off like honey or maple syrup or something sticky like that. It could totally ruin your hair. It can totally get on your knife. It can get on your cutting board and become very difficult to get off. And there's actually a trick to get that stuff off. And if we run into that situation, I'm going to show you how to do it. So in regards to that latex, you'll see this weird blue powder or something on the stalk, and I don't know exactly what that powder is, but what happens is when you cut the stalk, a lot of that sticky latex starts to pour out, so they put something on there, I guess, to prevent it from leaking throughout travel. Another problem with this fruit being popular is that a lot of them are imported right now underripe. This one is perfect. It's fragrant. The color is changing from green to a little bit of that like yellowish orange, so I know it's ready. That's why I made the investment in this one. A lot of the ones I see at the store, the ones that I see at Whole Foods are very green, and there's a 10% chance they're gonna ripen, but a lot of the times they don't ripen properly. They've just been harvested too early and they end up spoiling. So this is perfect. We're gonna cut right into it. Some people wear gloves when they cut into it. I don't have any right now, and that's to keep the latex off, but we're gonna go for it. So this right here is the part of the jackfruit that's edible. We want to take the seed out. They're poisonous when they're raw, but you can roast them and eat them. They put those in curries in South India. The skin and the core right here are also inedible, but this part right here is sweet and delicious and amazing. And what you can do to get rid of some of the latex is just blot it with a paper towel, and that'll get it away, keep it off your skin. Okay, so not the worst situation I've ever been in, but we definitely have some latex issues with this knife and with my skin right now. Now, soap and water will not get this off. So what we want to do, there's two ways to clean this. One is with heat, and you can put this through the fire on your stovetop and then wipe it clean with a paper towel. The other is to take some nut butter. It can be raw or roasted nut butter, and you can clean the knife and your hands with that nut butter, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. And your knife and your hands, good as new. Okay, so the difference between luxury supplements and essential supplements are that the luxury supplements, things like chlorella, shilajit, pine pollen, bee pollen, all these different superfoods can elevate health and bring things next level, but it's more of a luxury. It's not essential. I've never taken any of this stuff consistently in 25 years of eating clean, eating a whole foods plant-based diet, mostly raw for like 17 years of that. I eat about 95% raw now. So never taken any of them consistently. Now, if I had the wallet for it, would I? Yeah, like we're testing these out for the office. So, I'm taking some chlorella tabs. I ordered some bee pollen from Sun Food. I think they're great products. I think they're very nutrient dense, but it's a luxury. We don't need to take those. If you're eating clean, especially if you're eating vegan, you definitely want to make sure you're getting DHA. I like the DHA from this company, Shazandu. It's really important for brain, skin, and heart health, especially in vegans, because they're getting way too many omega-6 fats, especially if you're a cooked food vegan. And if you eat any of that processed food or veggie burgers, or if you have falafel, or if you're using canola oil or safflower oil, way too much omega-6 fatty acids. They're very bad for the heart. It's not good. Pro-inflammatory fats that are good in small doses. They're essential, but we need them at a low level. So taking an algae supplement is the best. It's even better than fish. Fish are getting it from algae. It moves through the food chain. So when people talk about the heart healthy benefits of fish, they're really talking about the fact that they're eating algae and getting those omega-3 fats. So we can get them directly from algae, and I like this company. We also need them in other forms, and when we go to non-aquatic forms of that, like clary sage seed oil, you can get a really good source of ALA. So these are two very important supplements. The other two that like almost anyone eating vegan should know about because they write about them all the time, vitamin B12. Vitamin B12, people can have a really hard time absorbing when they take supplements orally. So the intrinsic factor may be damaged or not working. And the best ways to get it is injection. A lot of athletes do it via injection, but I don't expect everyone to go around getting injections. Or they can take it through the skin, so transdermally. So you put a patch on, it goes right through your skin. This way you bypass the entire uptake through digestion. And these patches work very well. I actually get these at the Raw Food World. I think it's the rawfoodworld.com. And I also get from this same company, vitamin D3. Most people are not getting adequate amounts of sunlight, especially if you live above the 40th parallel. Dr. Bishy always taught me that. He's like, look, you got to make sure you cover your D3. I've had my blood tested, and I intentionally didn't take supplements for like a year and a half, 2 years, just to let my body kind of like get a good baseline for where I'd be at just eating my clean diet. And I was exceptionally good in almost everything, with the exception of vitamin D3. Even my B12, which was on the low side, which is normal for vegans, it was still within range. My D was just a wreck, and I think it was February, and I was in New York, which makes total sense because I'm basically sitting in front of a computer, sitting down in the house, not getting any natural sun at that time. So exceptionally important for bone health, vitamin D3. Not D2, but D3. It's in the most usable form. So these three are the essentials. Everything else, I mean, yeah, look, the Blue Magic, the like blue spirulina that makes the really pretty Instagram ice creams and stuff, all great stuff, loaded with antioxidants. If you have the funds, go for it. Get that stuff. It's great stuff. They call them superfoods for a reason. They're usually very dense with nutrition, antioxidants, and beneficial effects. But if you can't afford that stuff, don't go bankrupt. Just make sure that you get the essentials.